Hey, what's up guys? Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center again today, and we are going to just show you something. You know, a lot of the times we don't have the time, because a lot of times our film crew or our producer, things like that, is not always here. We're having to do a lot of videos just from our phones and things like that. And so a lot of the times we'll have medical issues come in or surrenders come in or stuff like that. And sometimes it's actually worth showing, whether because it's a bad reason or whether because it's a great reason. And so we're trying to get in the habit of showing more of the things that we deal with on the negative side, whether it turns out good later on down the road after we've worked on it, after we've done a lot of medical care and then potentially rehabilitation stuff, or if the worst was to happen and things just don't make it. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen from time to time. Now, this is one that come in from one of our state's animal control agencies. And we work with a lot of animal controls, and matter of fact, we work with 2 state agencies as well, along with some other some other entities. But before we get into this, right here in this corner is our subscriber button. Make sure you hit the subscriber button, hit the like button, hit the bell for notification. We appreciate you doing that and following along week after week after week. All right. Now, this little guy right here, as most people know, I'm not the biggest fan of iguanas. I love them dearly. Don't get me wrong. I love all reptiles, just not high up on my personal fan list. They can be a freaking handful, and if they're not dealt with pristinely for years and years, they're not as friendly as most people think they are. They do not make that great of a pet at all, unless you're prepared for the space and the immense amount of time you need in their care, handling, and socialization. However, this guy right here, or girl, I guess I should say, this girl right here has kind of had a little bit of a rough life, all right? When she come in, the animal control agency called us. They said, hey, we've got this one. She's lost her limbs. And they were right. When they brought her in, all right, I want to show you. She's missing every single one of her feet. And this has been purposely done, okay? This kind of precision stumping does not happen from something in the wild, not from exact distances, exact measurements. And these are completely healed up. Now, why this happened, honestly, why it happened doesn't really matter in the case of the fact that it really does irritate me, irritates a lot of my guys. It irritated the animal control agency. They were kind of pissed off about it as well, as a lot of people should be. I mean, okay, some cultures do utilize iguanas as food, but I mean, if you're going to do something like this, then euthanize the animal for the food. Put it down. Don't let it suffer. Don't let it. Now, they found it in the wild. Okay, it had escaped wherever it was at and walking around, climbing around, trying to find and forage food and stuff like that. Now, she's otherwise healthy. Yes, she is incredibly skinny, as you can tell. Legs are not very meaty. She's hip structure showing. She's not very full here. Fat pads aren't as full as they should be. But she's eating and she's active. So she still shows a great interest in survival of life. And when we do a assessment of life, or a quality of life assessment as we call it, how does the animal live? How can it live? Will it live at least an efficient life? And so with that being said, we have to make the decision from there. Now, this girl just needs what we would consider rehabilitating. Now, that rehabilitation would just be fattening her up, okay? Now, she's going to be very, very limited to things that she can do. So while these animals are a arboreal lizard, yes, they do go on the ground, but they love staying in the trees. While she's more of an arboreal lizard, she's now going to have to be set up as more of a terrestrial lizard. She's going to have to be set up in things that she can get around efficiently, be able to climb around as the nubs continue healing up and they start callousing up from where she's having to kind of walk around on those, but making sure that things that she can climb on, she can't fall off of, like tree limbs and things like that. So she has to now learn a new way of life. So she needs that extra care and time. But anyways, we wanted to show just one of many things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And this right here is kind of irritating. I mean, I could see if a dog had gotten a hold of it, whatever the case may be, one limb is missing, maybe a few toes missing on another foot, something like that. But this right here has been human, purposefully done, and this is a load of crap, okay? Let's just be perfectly honest with it. This is a load of crap. Now, as for this beautiful girl, she already has a home with one of our guys. One of our guys is going to take her in, Of course, get her nice and fat and back up. We've already been working on it. They have been working on it. The animal control had her for a few days, and they started getting good food and stuff into her. So bowel movements and basking and nutrition and all that good stuff is going to help this pretty girl to be able to at least get plump and back to a good or better quality of life than what she would have had otherwise. Now, again, this is Chad. We are the Reptile Rangers here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. We appreciate you following along week after week after week. Make sure to write us in. Let us know if things you want us to film about. Feel free to leave comments. If you need to get in touch with us, our information will be in the description below. Questions, medical questions, housing, feeding, whatever. People call me quite often now. A lot of people are actually sending, they call or they send a text message, and they're like, oh man, I didn't actually expect you to answer the phone. I'm like, yeah, I put my number out there. I'm going to answer the phone. They're like, most people are like, dude, that's awesome, because it's like you can't get a hold of anybody and nobody wants to be bothered. They want to look good on the video, but then they don't want to be bothered after the fact. We're here to help the animals. We're here for folks when they need us, and we're happy to be able to do that. So again, we are the Reptile Rangers here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo. Make sure to follow along, video after video after video. We'll either see you here at the zoo or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.